If you're watching kids and you understand how they learn and the ways they think, what they know and how they know it, as you always say, then I know what comes next.
And what we want to do is take a look together at what children need and what we can provide and bring the joy back into teaching.
And that is, we're not following a script, we're following kids.
We're going to be looking at how the development of children's thinking impact what we're doing in our number talks.
Hello from the Math Perspectives Teacher Development Center YouTube channel. Today we are going to be focusing on our summer courses, an in-person leadership institute. Speaking today we have Kathy Richardson, who is one of the nation's leading elementary math educators. She's the author and developer of the Developing Number Concept series and Assessing Math Concept series, as well as How Children Learn Number Concepts and the original Number Talk series that includes a book for pre-kindergarten and for K-2 classrooms. Also with us are education consultants Sue Dolphin and Nicole Jahari. They are both teaching online one-day Number Talks courses this summer, one in June and one in July. Then we have Dr. Kay Middleton, who will be teaching an Assessing Math Concepts course, a 3.5-day course taking place online in June. They are all going to give us an insight as to what to expect this summer in their courses that they will be teaching. At the end of this video and below, there is information on where to register for these courses. Kathy will start us off by talking about the Math Leadership Institute that she will be co-teaching with Dr. Middleton in Bellingham, Washington.
We've been doing the Institute for quite a few years, and my favorite part about it is that we get a chance to just think about how children learn and be together as teachers who are exploring things about learning in children. What I've known for quite a while is the teachers who are the most passionate about their work are the ones that are exploring learning and love talking about kids. Lots of times we're sort of given scripts lately that we're supposed to follow, and what we can do in the Institute is have a chance to really think for ourselves, look at what we really believe, what children really need, and have a chance to explore and ask questions and figure out what kids really need from us. The actual events of the course are always outlined ahead of time, but what I find I usually do, and Kay are very flexible working with me, sometimes things that we didn't know that we wanted to go in depth with are what we end up doing. So it isn't always exactly the same every year. In fact, it's different every year as people have come more than once that know and the instructors I work with know. But the main thing is we want to figure out, what do we believe, what do we want to understand about kids, how can we really be the most effective teachers we can for kids, for the most effective support for other teachers. And so there's no limits on kind of it should be this way or we have to do this. What do we want to know about kids and how can we most help them?
Also for the Leadership Institute is like, this is the teacher working with the student. If you're working with this teacher, how do you support them to support the student?
Yeah.
With interventionists, they don't know how to help each other, know it so deeply that they could go, oh, go here to book 3. There's some great tasks in chapter 1, part B, or something like that. So instead of teaching them that, going, hey, okay, so you've got this child or you've got these children, what do we do? Now, how do we follow that up? What do we say to this teacher? What would be appropriate?
The other courses are much more specific. We have real content that we want to cover, and so the instructors can tell you about that.
Well, Sue and I can speak to our Number Talks class, and I think what Kathy just said says a lot about what we're going to do during our Number Talks course, and that is, we're not following a script, we're following kids. And so Number Talks give us the opportunity to be able to understand what kids know and understand and make our practice follow what kids know and understand in a way that moves them forward in the trajectory of the way that kids learn math concepts.
We're going to be using the Number Talk book Nicole's holding up right now. We'll be using that as our guide, but as Nicole said, you can't have a script, otherwise you're not really meeting the kids' needs. We're going to be looking at how the development of children's thinking impact what we're doing in our Number Talks. It's going to be based around Kathy's Critical Learning Phases book that we've had the opportunity to work directly with Kathy Richardson, who along with Ruth Parker originally developed Number Talks back in the 90s. What's going to be a little bit different about this Number Talks course is that we'll be focusing on using models and different kinds of questions to get at what students know and understand about numbers. They have the opportunity to use what they know so far. Our goal is to help them become more and more proficient, all the while accepting where they are right now.
I am going to be teaching the Assessing Math Concepts course. We are going to be spending the time online and looking at the structure of early number and how children come to learn early number. The ways in which teachers are able to look at student work, assess what children know and how they know it, and then be able to connect the instructional piece with the assessments. So we'll be looking at several of the assessments in the AMC Anywhere program. So we'll be looking specifically at counting objects, changing numbers. So that'll be the early number counting and cardinality work. Then we'll be going into number arrangements, the hiding assessment, and then we'll be moving into the idea of tenness with 10 frames, grouping tens, and then moving into 2-digit addition subtraction. And with each one of these assessments, we'll be looking at how do we assess, how do we gather the data, how do we then analyze the data, and then what do we do with those data? How do we meet children's needs that we've now found out, and how do we put that in place in our classroom? So in a day-to-day basis, what might this look like?
I want to add, this is Cheryl Russell with Math Perspectives, and I'm not teaching any classes this summer, but I want everyone in the audience here to know that the Assessing Math Concepts series of formative assessments that Kay has talked about, again, are very unique in that they really do uncover what children really know about mathematics. There aren't any other assessments like them. They're truly formative assessments, and I'm just not sure there are any that really give teachers the information. We have learning activities for teachers to use. It's not like you just find out what the children doesn't know and then you just go on to the next lesson, you know?
I think one of the other things that all of these courses have in common is it takes the work of teachers and it provides a structure for teachers to do what they know is right for students, to put the students at the center, but to give them the language that they can talk to each other, the assessments that will allow them to really hone in on those pieces that are most important, and also the ways in which we can tie assessment, instruction, materials all together so that it makes the work of teaching doable, brings that joy back to working with our students in mathematics.
We get so busy following the script and the rules and the expectations in our classrooms, and it sucks the joy right out of teaching oftentimes, not only for us, but for the kids as well. And what we want to do is take a look together at what children need and what we can provide and bring the joy back into teaching. We will get a sense of where we stand and what we believe in, develop confidence in what we know children need. But what we want to do is to really understand children and become our own experts. And so we trust our own thinking and our own decision making. And so we have time to come together to talk about kids, our own experiences, and to look at some new questions and some new issues. We really want the kids at the center of what we're doing and not any program, no matter who wrote it. But we just want really to look at kids. What do they need? What do we understand about kids? And how can we bring joy and purpose back to our own job as teachers of teachers or teachers of children?